Napoli are back on top after their win this weekend. Liverpool lose their third consecutive match, but that's not even the biggest news. The biggest news is that Everton beat Crystal Palace.
The race for the top spot has officially begun in La Liga, but in the Bundesliga, there's already space made in the trophy cabinet at Bayern Munich. So all this and more in episode 93 of the No Business Soccer Podcast News. Kick us off.
Let's dig in. What is good, homies? Welcome back to the No Business Soccer Podcast. I'm your host, Snooze, and we got the full fam. Of course, we got J-Fam, the Brainiac in the back. We have Danny P on the ones and twos, and man, our boy, Hype Man Vic. What you sipping on, dog?
Well, I decided to bust out one of my favorite bottles, and it's from Still Austin, and I'm busting it out because as we will talk about here pretty shortly, Austin FC have made the playoffs, the MLS playoffs. So we're gonna have a little bit of a good sip here. It's Still Austin's Tanager, one of my favorite bottles that I have. It's the one that's like really pretty and has like a cool little top to it and everything like that. And yeah, really, really good. It's their cigar blend that they have, and it's man, it's just like some stewed cherries in there. It's absolutely amazing. And yeah, I need to start drinking it because they're gonna come out with the second bottle pretty soon. So let's get to it. And as I do, and cheers, you guys, go ahead and hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. It's the best way to tell YouTube, hey, maybe these guys are pretty cool to listen to every once in a while and become part of the No Biz fam. Cheers, everyone.
Ooh, nice clink. That was a good clink right there. And yeah, I had to throw in Everton beating Palace at the top because if you watch our shorts, you'll know that I don't say it there. And Danny P was on me about that. He did not like that. So, threw my boy a bone right there. But we have a full show to cover from this weekend's action across the Premier League, the Bundesliga, Serie A, and La Liga. Plus, of course, we have to talk a little bit about some of the news that's popped up over the week, some cool stuff. And we might even talk about what the international break is. I don't know. We'll figure that part out. But before we do any of that stuff in Europe, we got to stop first here in Austin, Texas. Boots on the ground for the Austin FC Minute.
Well, are we happy or are we sad? I'm not sure. I brought out a pretty cool bottle of bourbon, so I guess that's pretty cool. But Austin FC have lost 3 straight, but have qualified for the MLS playoffs. Like I said, we will be sending a nice little fruit basket to Vancouver as they beat San Jose, and that's the reason we even qualified for the playoffs. Is San Jose can no longer jump in. But yeah, we do not look good at all. So it's going to be pretty tough. And yeah, we do have a game coming up this Sunday against LAFC. And I was worried, but Son and Bolanga are both on international duty, so there might be a chance we get some sort of win. And I hope we do. We will need it because for us to have an MLS playoff game in Austin, we cannot be in the wild card, and more specifically, be the away team in the wild card. So the way it works is that first there's a wild card round where number 8 and 9 go against each other, but only the top seed, 8th seed, will get home games, and it's the best 2 out of 3. So after that, whoever wins that will go into the top 8, and those top 8 will do a best of 3. Out of the best of 3, we'll have a home, away, and a home game for the top seeded, obviously. So that's how Austin will get a home game if we make it to the, I guess, best of 3 round or the qualification round, the top 8. So we just cannot be dead last. We can't be 9th. So and then we'll get some sort of playoff.
Then we'll get one home game at least.
So. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. And with LA, if we get a win at LAFC, it's definitely going to help us stay out of there. Hopefully get an MLS playoff game here in Austin so we can just have maybe one more party, maybe 2 more parties. Who knows? We'll see. And yeah, that'd be great. Let's see if we can do it.
Okay, we'll see if we can do it. And we'll bring it right back to you on the Austin FC Minute when it comes around. It's a 3-1 loss and a championship game loss. Not good times. We need something to cheer about here. Maybe a playoff game against Inter Miami will fix that. You know, we were just talking about that. No, it won't fix that. It won't fix that at all. Okay.
It has to be the championship game. I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, right. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and jump right in to the main part of the show, which is, of course, over the pond in Europe. And before we get into any of the leagues, we will talk about what's coming up because there is going to be an international break. And if you're new to watching European soccer, European football, whatever you want to call it, you might not be aware of what an international break is. And so when you see these teams, when you see your favorite player, he might have let's say a Real Madrid jersey on. He's playing for Real Madrid. But then on the international break, he has a Portuguese kit on, or he's British or whatever. The reason that happens is because there are two different competitions completely. There's the club competition, and then there's your country's competition, right? And so you have an international break to play with the country that you're from. So, for instance, Pulisic plays all of his matches over in Milan with Milan. And on international duty, he's going to actually be here in Austin, Texas. Woo! Because he'll be playing for the USA. And correct me if I'm wrong, Vic, are these, it's not a qualifier for us, but these are like the ramp-up games. Mm-hmm. But all around Europe, it is World Cup qualifiers this round, right?
I don't know exactly which ones are the qualifiers because I see them everywhere and then friendlies. And that's what I was kind of hoping because, like I said earlier in the Austin FC Minute, Dennis Mwanga and Hong-Min Son. Always gets me. But they will not be with LAFC. Yeah, just Sonny. They won't be with LAFC because they're going to be on international duty. So that's why we're kind of upset that they're not going to be here. But you'll see them in a South Korean and I forgot for
you got me on that one
for Bouanga. But you'll see them this week.
A Latin American team.
Yeah.
But so what the difference is, about what goes on in the club competitions. That's what we cover here. 95% of the time, actually probably 100% of the time, it's anything that happens for La Liga, Serie A, Premier League, Bundesliga, that's the club. And then they also play in the European competitions, which is the Conference League, Europa League, Champions League. Well, international break is so that the players that are selected for their international teams, they can go wherever their country is, and they play games that usually it's friendlies, basically just them trying to figure out how this team's going to play. The head coach or the manager of these international teams gets his tactics right. He only gets these guys for, let's say, a month out of the year. So it's not a lot of time to get things right. But whenever you have world-class players, usually it doesn't take too much. That's why you see some of the top dogs always doing it. France, mostly the European guys, plus Argentina. Brazil should be up there. We'll find out. But either way, that's what this does. And outside of the States, because if you're in the U.S. watching this, we are hosting, so we automatically qualify for the World Cup. No need to worry about that. But there are other countries, all the other countries outside of Canada and Mexico, they have to qualify. So these international breaks are going to be World Cup qualifiers, which means that, yes, there's a tournament to get into the big tournament. There's so many tournaments going on, and that's what's going to be going down this week. And that's why you won't be seeing us or any of the clubs going on until, oh, wow, what's the date, Vic? Next Friday, not this Friday, next Friday. What is that? The 24th. Seems so long. Man, it's kind of a bummer. So that is what the international break is and what it's for. And I know I talked about it briefly before, but they said that the international break for September, October, they're very close, and it kind of annoys club managers and everyone, really, all the fans. It's like, just spread them out further, because I think it's September, October, and then there's not one until maybe March, something like that. So let's figure it out. But what they're going to do next year, I've heard, is that they're combining it. So it's going to be from the end of September to the 1st of October. They're just going to take a 2-week break. So we'll find out if it actually happens, but that would be pretty cool. Interesting stuff. Long break for us, but anyways, I know Vic likes talking, so we'll figure it out. He will have stuff to say. Just kidding. All right, let's jump in then. Let's go straight to Italy.
Let's do it then. To Serie A.
Oh, we've got some more news here before we jump in, because yes, the music is blasting. You can visualize pizza and pasta and cheese and all kinds of stuff that goes on in Italy, but also the San Siro. You can visualize it because that is one of the iconic venues in Italian football. And the news from I don't even know if it was 2 days ago, maybe a day ago, was that the city of Milan, who owned the San Siro and all of the surrounding areas, have agreed to sell. It was a vote, actually. It was like they won 24-20 to sell that whole area to Milan and Inter. So they will control the rights to all of that. They will own that. And why is that a big deal? Well, it's a big deal because obviously the San Siro is it's iconic. It's one of the most well-known stadiums in world football, if not for sure in Italy. But it's old. It's 70 plus years old at this point. And they're hosting the 2032 Euros there between them and Turkey. And they've deemed it not modern enough to host the Euro. So whenever the Euros are coming to your country and they can't host it in one of the most iconic stadiums, that's a problem. And obviously we've known for a while. I mean, Vic, we've been to two stadiums. Stadio Olimpico, it was nice. Nothing crazy, but it was nicer. But Fiorentina Stadium, it was like a high school stadium, It was not nothing crazy. And so my point is that what they're wanting to do is start with building. First off, they'll tear down that whole San Siro that's there now, and they're going to build a brand new stadium, and it's going to go to 71,000 capacity. They're planning to build a whole area, like neighborhood, hotels, everything around it, just to kind of modernize it and bring in more revenue that way. They say that it will be 2032 before that's ready. They're doing it for the Euros, but hopefully a little sooner. We've seen stadiums be built in a couple of years that are massive, and whatever. We'll see how long it takes and how much money they're gonna have to spend on it. But either way, big news coming out of Italy for Italian soccer, and we'll see how this all plays out. But we got more stuff to talk about now before we get to the 2032, Vic. So let's do it. Let's jump in.
Let's do it. Let's talk about Serie A and the top matches and headlines for Serie A match day 6. And we start with number 1, Lazio leave it late.
Lazio and Torino end in a 3-3 draw, with the equalizing goal coming from Lazio in the 13th minute of stoppage time. The funny thing is, there was only 4 minutes of stoppage time given at the end of the 90. It was chaos, drama, intensity, and some good watching. We'll talk about more later.
And number 2, Napoli are back on top.
With their 2-1 win over Genoa, Napoli are back at the top of the table. Their loss to Milan last week meant that they spent 1 week away from their cozy home at the top of Serie A table, but they are back where they belong at the break.
And number 3, Juve, the master of the draw.
Remember last season how Juve ended with the most draws in Serie A? Well, they're back at it with their 3rd straight draw in the league, and that is a 0-0 with Milan. Now, Atalanta are ahead of them with 4 draws right now, so they're not leading the category. But the kicker is that both teams are the only 2 that have yet to lose.
And those are your top matches and headlines for Serie A match day 6. I said Juve, right? Got to be happy for me. Come on, Snooze.
Yeah, you say Juve. You say Juve.
Yeah. That's funny. I'm the one that told you, because Christian, I still get it wrong.
I got called out.
Yeah, I know.
But it only happened once you came back from Japan. So something that sake got you over there. Something.
Yeah. My bad.
Knock the correct pronunciation out you.
I know. I was trying to very badly to speak Japanese, and it's just messed up everything going on in here. So, but
he hardly speak English.
Yeah, I'm almost so bad. Those are your top matches and headlines. Let's go ahead and talk about the match days we had. And it started on Friday with Verona welcoming Sassuolo, and Sassuolo getting the 1-0 win.
Yeah, let's dig into the rest of these matches. Verona lose another match as they continue their fight to get their first win of the season. But Sassuolo is hot in the streets with back-to-back wins. It's now 2 wins in their last 4 matches. They're sitting pretty 6 matches into this season, and maybe they're going to not even be in that relegation scrap come the end of the season.
Then we moved on to Saturday as we had Parma and Lecce go head-to-head with the Milkman getting a 1-0 win.
The good vibes didn't last long for Parma as they lose 1-0 at home to the Milkman, and it's 4 points from the last 2 matches for Lecce. Parma have really not shown much this season, and looking at the bottom 6 or 7 in Serie A at the moment, it is going to be a slog, and I'm not sure that Parma can make it out alive.
And our next matchup was a pretty crazy one. We had Lazio and Torino fighting to a 3-3 draw.
Yeah, I know we talked about it a second ago in the headlines, but let's break it down a bit more because this one was insane. It had a wacky ending. It went way past the allotted stoppage time, but made for some crazy watching. And really, the end is just what the epitome of Italian football is. Whenever it's just all that animosity and that intensity that you get. It was 2-2 going into 4 minutes of stoppage time. So 2-2 going into the final 4 minutes. Torino scored the go-ahead goal in the second minutes of stoppage time, meaning there's probably 2 minutes left after that. Obviously, they go crazy. They're running around, taking their shirts off, celebrating with their traveling fans, and then time ends up going past the 4 minutes given, as it usually will. But the ref lets them play because, that's what happens. You go and you act crazy. They're going to throw some more time on there. But in the 6 minute of stoppage time, Lazio has a man go down in the box, and both teams get into a shoving match. It lasts for another 3 or 4 minutes trying to figure out what the heck happened. At the end of the day, there's chaos on the touchline, and VAR ultimately does decide it's a penalty. Lazio buries it, and it is a 13th minute stoppage time equalizer for our Lazio. It is just getting crazy out there. I don't know what's going on with this team, but I say one thing. I'll remember this match for a while because it was pretty crazy.
What a crazy match. And then we go on to Inter and Cremonese. Way more straightforward. It's Inter take care of business, beating Cremonese 4-1.
Yes, welcome to the show, A.Y. Boni. It's like Anjuan Boni, but I don't mess up, so we just call him AY here. The kid who came over to Inter in the summer from Parma had his coming out party against Cremonese, and as he logged a goal and 3 assists in his first start for the club, he got the start with Thuram being out injured, but he showed that he is more than capable and was worth the price tag, I guess we should say. You can say, yeah, but it was only Cremonese. That's why this happened. But this was Cremonese's first loss of the season, believe it or not. Still not a bad start for them to lose here. I think they'll be fine towards the end of the season. But what a show from Boni, and what a win for Inter, 4-1.
And then we had an entertaining end to Saturday as Atalanta and Como fight to a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, Atalanta and Como went to battle in Bergamo. You like that? In a pretty fun back and forth match. It had a combined 28 shots and 8 shots on goal. Both sides had a chance to put this game away, but it wasn't meant to be. But shout out to Ademola Lookman, who was back out there for the AC Aliens. And when he's out there, they're just a lot more fun to watch.
And if you like that 1-1 draw to end Saturday, you'll love Sunday morning, as it also had a 1-1 draw, but between Udinese and Cagliari.
Oh, shoot. Give me 2 seconds. Where did my notes go? Here we go. Hey, there you go. Cagliari did their very best to lose this match, but Udinese just couldn't find the finishing touch, and they split the points. Cagliari had 2 different instances where the last defender fell over, and they had clear chances on goal, but they just got too excited and blasted it over the bar, and Udinese couldn't get it done. I'm telling you, Vic, if you watch the replay of this match, I've never seen it happen like so close together where the defender just slips and the ball is just rolling towards his goal and the guy's one-on-one with the keeper, and neither time it went in. It was just insane. Man, that's what happens. That's what happens whenever you waste your chances, and hopefully they're not in a relegation scrap. Udinese is one of the blue bloods here, but either way, just when you see a result like that, there's just bad luck.
We'll see what happens, but we will go on to our Serie A belt to ass match as Bologna welcomed Pisa and beat them 4-0.
Yes, it's like giving me nightmares from my past. But Bologna, it was as easy as it gets for them, is the best way to say it without being too disrespectful. Pisa were down to 10 men and 3 goals down in the first half. So there was no coming back for them in the second half for sure. It's just what Bologna needed, though. We've been saying for a while that they haven't been playing to their potential. And the one thing is, can we just talk about this guy, my guy, Riccardo Orsolini, because he has scored now 4 goals in 6 Serie A matches this season, 5 goals in 8 matches total in all competitions, obviously. We talked about him this offseason and how he was going to be key to their team if he was to stay. I thought he would leave because he had such a good season last season, but he's just on it again. And I don't know why the bigger clubs aren't calling. He's, I think, 28, something like that. So maybe that's why. But either way, he's really, really good, fun to watch, and he's just banging them in for fun right now. Vic Orsolini, my guy.
You called it. Hopefully, you don't have that curse going on still, and you didn't just.
There's no curse. Oh, no.
Okay, we'll move on to our next matchup. It was a classic. Fiorentina taking on the visiting Roma, and Roma get the win 2-1.
Roma make it 3 wins in a row, and Sule is starting to catch fire with a goal and an assist, which is his third goal and second assist already this season. So he got 5 goal contributions in the first 6 matches. Yes, it's another loss, and our Fiorentina are still winless. But fear not, my friends, if you are a fellow Viola, because something was different about them in this match. If you watched it, they just felt like the team that they have been the past couple of seasons, not the one that started this season out, because Moise Kean gets his first goal of the season, and it was sick, like ridiculous. The Viola hit the bar 3 or 4 times. They had this game at a point where they could win it. They just couldn't find that finishing touch. Moise Kean, again, he hadn't scored all season, so him getting into his groove is a very good thing. They do lose here, but they come oh so close to getting something out of this. I'm not saying they would have won, but at least a point. And I just think this performance is something that they can press on from, and they get the international break to think about it. So let's see if they continue to push on after this.
And then we move on to our next matchup as we have the new number 1 Napoli getting a win over Genoa 2-1.
Oh, yeah. Napoli bounced back from their loss to Milan with a win and make it back to the top of the table. The winner comes from Højlund. And if there are any other struggling Manchester United players out there, please make your way to Naples. The sun is hot. I don't know if you've seen the pictures of McTominay now, but the Scottish boy, he's got like flowy hair and his they turn red a little bit, but he's got like nice tan red skin. I mean, just get out of Manchester and come to Naples already. Genoa's goal, though, in this match, again, it ended 2-1. Genoa's goal was just so good. Slick passing, a team goal, ended with a back heel. Man, go check it out if you haven't seen it, but they lose ultimately, but still, great goal.
And then to finish off match day 6, we had Juve and Milan going to a 0-0 draw, and Captain America just slipped up just a bit.
Yeah, that sucked. This one was about as entertaining as you can get for a 0-0, but I mean, we don't talk about those here, so I can't go into too much detail. All I will say is that Vic alluded to it. Pulisic missed a penalty, man. They could have won it, and he missed the pin. It sucks, but what can you do? And it was bad, too. He missed it.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. His American came out, went over the bar. He thought he was kicking a field goal. That's
he's like 3 points right there.
Yeah. So, but anyway, those are that's your match day 6 matches and results that we had. Do we want to let's take a look at the table here, because with that Juve draw, that's 3 in a row for them, so knocks them out. And Inter Milan are taking advantage of that as they have 3 wins in a row, getting to the number 4 spot, the Champions League spot. Above them is AC Milan with 13 points. And then you have Napoli and Roma tied with 15 points in the number 1 and 2 spot, respectively. But of course, Napoli have a better goal differential. And then I know it's early, but let's go ahead and look at the relegation zone. You have Hellas Verona with 3 measly points. And then Genoa and Pisa fighting for last place with 2 measly points, -6 and -7 goal differentials. That's how you fight for last place there. And doing their best to stay in form. No wins in the bottom 3 at all. Bottom 4, actually, if you take a look at it. But bottom 4 on. No wins at all.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. We thought that the teams that were there last year were bad. So we'll find out. Maybe it can get worse.
Also, not only that, but we do have another Thanos perfectly balanced award, and it goes to Cagliari. 2 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 6 goals for, 6 goals against, giving them a 0 goal differential. They're perfectly balanced. Congratulations, Cagliari. We will be sending you the time zone.
You might be mid-table.
Yeah.
But right, you are number 1 in Hype Man Vic's book.
Yeah, and that's not the only one today. So we'll go over that as well. Anything else on the table, Stews?
No, I think we're good to go for now.
All right, we're going.
Let's do it. Let's go to Germany.
Let's do it. To Bundesliga. Still jealous.
Yes.
Seeing those videos.
Well, it's good times, and I don't think anything's changed since we last spoke about this league. We were making jokes like, "Oh, hey, what changes at the top of the tables do we need to adjust?" and blah blah. And we were just like, "Well, not the Bundesliga for sure. That's probably going to be there the entire season because Bayern are just on a freaking tear." But before I spoil anything, let's jump into it.
Let's do it, and let's talk about the top matches and headlines for Bundesliga match day 6, and we start with number 1 promoted teams in Dreamland.
with Köln and Hamburg both getting wins this weekend. They go into the second international break above mid-table. We will have a ton of games left. We still have a ton of games left. I understand that. But almost a quarter into the Bundesliga season, they're sitting pretty, and that is a very good sign.
Going on to number 2, the Bavarian Bullies do it again.
With Bayern's dominant win over Eintracht Frankfurt, they have now played 2 of the top-tier German clubs in the Bundesliga, and they ended with a combined score of 9 goals for and 0 goals against. And if you throw in Chelsea just for fun, that total is 12 goals for and 1 against. It's just they are on an insane run right now.
And number 3, the battle for second place heats up.
With Bayern on a tear, Dortmund find themselves 4 points behind them in second, and they're the only 2 unbeaten teams in the Bundesliga that are left. This is why Dortmund's match with Leipzig was such a big deal, and they had they won, I think we could have taken them serious as title contenders to Bayern, but they draw 1-1 at home to the same team that Bayern beat 6-0 just like 3 or 4 weeks ago. So I don't know if there's going to be an actual challenger, but Dortmund are staking their claim.
I think both work. I think you're good.
Sure.
Yeah. But those are your top matches and headlines for Bundesliga match day 6. As you said, Suze, we're talking about the number ones. We covered 4 leagues here. 3 of them have new number ones this past week. Not Bundesliga. Bundesliga is, I'm pretty sure,
No.
as we said in the short, they're already making room in the trophy case for that trophy. So it's pretty set so far.
Leverkusen's run lasted exactly as long as Xabi was there, and now he's gone.
Yeah, but let's go ahead and then I guess go ahead and talk about the matches for match day 6. And it all started on Friday as our cute little mascot Köln get a 1-0 win against Hoffenheim.
Yes, Köln or Cologne if you're American. They stopped their skid on the road, handing Hoffenheim their 3rd consecutive home loss, and now it's only 1 win in 5 matches for the Hoff. Köln get back to winning ways and stay in the top five for now. They found a way to grind out a win and sit pretty heading into the break, and it's just a all-around good look for Köln, who they started the season on fire, scoring bags of goals and looking really fun, and now they're finding ways that they can grind out a result without having to score so many.
And then we move on to Saturday as Bayer Leverkusen are doing their best to stay in the European competition spots as they get a 2-0 win against Union Berlin.
Yeah, let's look. All right, Leverkusen look like they're all the way back now. Let's just get that out because they put up 2 goals against Union, but it could have easily been 3 or 4. And this team, I'm not saying that what Xabi Alonso had there, they have again. I'm just saying that they are back to, there's this certain style that they play, and you can see it again. They're free-flowing. They're fun to watch, and I'm all for it. They make back-to-back wins in the Bundesliga. They're starting to look like themselves.
And then we had a top-of-the-table match, number 2 versus number 3, Dortmund and RB Leipzig fighting to a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, 2 first-half goals split the points in Dortmund, and this match looked like 2 Bundesliga giants going at it. It was throw for throw, blow for blow. I will say, though, that after we get 2 goals in the first 23 minutes, I just expected more. I expected there to be more fireworks from this. But either way, both teams come away, and I think that both teams can feel encouraged by the result.
And then we move on as Werder Bremen get a 1-0 win against St. Pauli, much needed for Werder Bremen.
A goal that came in the second minute was all the action we get out of Werder and St. Pauli. Second minute, that's crazy. There's actually quite a bit of shots and shots on goal, but it was approaching a must-win status for both teams as they both come in with back-to-back losses, and now it's 3 losses in a row for St. Pauli after they opened with 2 wins and a draw. I remember thinking after the first 3 or 4 weeks that this team might be good enough to be fighting for those European places, but obviously a lot has happened in the next 3 or 4 weeks. But the biggest question is going to be how far do they fall, and can they stop that coming out of the international break?
And then we continued Saturday with a battle of the Berg, one of the battles of the Bergs, as Augsburg take on Wolfsburg and win 3-1.
And speaking of teams who have lost 3 matches in a row, let's talk about Wolfsburg losing to Augsburg. It's getting scary for Wolfsburg as they failed to win any of their last 5 matches and just get blown out by Augsburg, who come into the match having lost 4 straight by a combined 5 goals for and 11 goals against. So obviously people are scoring on them for fun, but not Wolfsburg. They just haven't looked that great. And I'm not saying it's panic time yet, but it's definitely getting close to that for Paul Simonis.
And then we close out Saturday as Eintracht Frankfurt welcome Bayern Munich, the number 1, and Bayern come out swinging and win 3-0.
Yeah, you just knew that it was going to be a very big win. Well, I guess it wasn't too big, but it was a big win because Eintracht Frankfurt give up a goal to Luis Diaz in the first 15 seconds of the match. 15 freaking seconds. I looked up, like, that has to be a record. Nope, it's 9. So he didn't even get close to the record, but hey, 15 seconds is insane. We get another outside the box banger from Kane, and if you see the correct angle, I mean, that thing's bending all over the place. It's beautiful. I love that, man. But either way, Bayern Munich, they roll on. They're probably going to keep rolling on. That's what they do.
And then we moved on to Sunday as Stuttgart get on a roll, and it comes off the backs of Heidenheim. They win 1-0.
Yeah, it took a while too. The winning goal came in the 65th minute for Stuttgart as they make it 3 wins in a row in the Bundesliga. And they're in great shape now heading into the international break. But watching the match, I was just thinking, there's no way that they draw with Heidenheim. There's no way they can get a 0-0 with this team. Heidenheim is so bad this year. But they end up getting the win, 1-0. I mean, you can't complain about it. 3 points and a clean sheet. I'd like to see some more goals, though.
And then we move on to our Bundesliga belt-to-ass match as Hamburg beat Mainz 4-0.
It's not looking good for my Mainz. Hamburg tore through Mainz defense like paper and made it look easy. They were up 2-0 within the first 9 minutes. Mainz continue to tumble down the table and have a lot to fix at the break if they're going to be able to cope with Europe and the Bundesliga season.
And then we go from a belt-to-ass match to just ass as Gladbach and Freiburg battle to a 0-0 draw.
Just ass. Not much to talk about here, though. The fact that Gladbach so far don't look much better after sacking Gerardo, I call him Sioni. I don't know if that's actually how to pronounce it, but they just don't look better since he's been sacked. It's not a good sign. Freiburg, too. My Black Forest boys, I'm hoping they get a little better.
And those are your matches from match day 6 going around Bundesliga. I did read a couple of things about Harry Kane. This is how good it's going for Bayern Munich. Like, they're saying,
please tell me.
Is Harry Kane, is Bundesliga just too easy for Harry Kane? Like, should he be doing something else? And that's how good it is going for Bayern Munich and the fam. So that's crazy.
It's always like that, though. Like, there's years Bayern dominate the Bundesliga. There's years where a team pops up. Usually it's Dortmund. Sometimes it's Leverkusen. And you just, I don't know, Leipzig also, they've never won it, but they're always right around there. Ultimately, it's just, can they win the Champions League? That's what they're really here for. I think 2020 was their last one. So, yeah, we'll have to see. They're playing for that. But if he does win, small tangent here, if he does win the Champions League with Bayern, there's nothing left to do for him to do that after that. And next summer, there's a clause in his contract with Bayern with Spurs that he can come back to Spurs for 50 mil. If he wants to, if he chooses to, and if Spurs would activate that clause. But I'm hoping, if I'm a big Bayern supporter now, because if he wins the Champions League with him, why is he going to stay in the Bundesliga? Come back to the Prem, it would be amazing. Anyway, okay.
It would be a great ovation for him. And that would be pretty cool to see, I guess, not for us, because the way he's been playing, I don't think I want him to see him on the field anymore, but
he also wants to go kick in the NFL, so if that'd be cool too. Go be a kicker in the NFL.
Forgot we talked about that Sunday. You're right. Yeah.
My boy's gonna get jacked. He's gonna just blast some people.
Well, there's not much to talk about, but let's go ahead and bring up the Bundesliga table. As your number 1 is, of course, Bayern Munich, and that gap is slowly starting to widen as they have 18 points, 6 straight wins, not even showing some sort of any kind of holes in their game at all. But you do have Borussia Dortmund in the number 2 spot with 14 points. 1 point behind them is RB Leipzig with 13. And then rounding out our top 4 is Stuttgart with 12 points. Let's go ahead and look at the bottom of the table, and we'll take a look at the relegation zone. I know it's early, but these two teams have 3 points apiece. It's Borussia Mönchengladbach. We need to get out of the relegation zone because I like saying that name. And then Heidenheim back at the bottom. Lucky to stay in from last year, but they have not improved and holding up the rest of the table. Not only that, Snooze, it's the second one of the day. The Thanos Perfectly Balanced Award goes to the team you might see later, Freiburg. Freiburg with 2 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 9 goals for, 9 goals against, giving them a 0 goal differential, perfectly balanced. Congratulations, Freiburg. When Snooze goes to see you later, he will be bringing you a Power Stone.
Yes. I'm confused on how it will happen, though, because they're not very good at the moment. They're mid-table, you know. They're playing Dortmund. So do I think that more people are going to be at that game because Dortmund's there? We'll find out.
Probably.
I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see.
yeah.
If anybody
Dortmund's
watches this, hook us up.
Yeah. Dortmund's reach goes far, man. I remember Reese went to Galaxy. Yeah, there were so many Dortmund kits at the Austin FC Stadium. Yeah, like so many. I was like, why are there so many? And Danny P told us, and I was like, oh, that makes sense. There was a lot of yellow floating around, which is crazy. But yeah,
okay.
You probably see a lot of yellow too. Anything else on the table?
No, sir. Seeing Thanos, it's it's all is well. All is well. We're good.
All right.
So then let's move it along. Then let's go to Spain.
Let's do it to La Liga.
I feel like this season has been really weird in La Liga because there's not a team that looks like they're going to challenge Barca or Real. Like there usually is a couple every season that look like they might be able to, but I don't know who's going to win the league because they keep dropping points like they shouldn't be. And it usually doesn't happen this way, but man, interesting start to the season. Let's just put it that way. I don't know who I put my money on, but before we get into all of that, let's talk about the league and the action that happened this weekend, and then we'll jump into who we think's going to win.
Let's do it. Let's go ahead and talk about the top matches and headlines for La Liga match day 8. And it starts with number 1, Barca crash out.
Barca got thrashed by Sevilla 4-1 and get their first loss of the season by a team that's supposed to be in turmoil. To prove the point of how crazy this result is, Sevilla haven't beaten Barca in La Liga since October 3rd, 2015. That is almost 10 years of dominance to the day, and Sevilla get it done.
And number 2, with Barca crashing out, Real Madrid bounce back.
Typically, Real beats Villarreal. I don't know why did I have Betis in my notes, but it says
Looks
beats.
Like it.
Yeah, typically Real beats Villarreal in close matches. That's usually what happens. But with their loss last weekend, I thought maybe there was a chance that Villarreal could come in and get it done at the Bernabeu. But Madrid showed their class. Vinny Jr. gets a brace, and they prove that it's all just a 2-horse race in the end.
And we go to number 3. It is Alaves who are the hype train stoppers.
Yeah. Oh, no. I mean, come on. They just dominated our boys out there. Just when we were all in on the Elche being the real deal hype train, Alaves straight dominate them. All the goals came very late in the match, but Alaves outshot Elche 25-6. Cool for Alaves, sad for our mighty Elche.
And number 4, watch out for the come down.
Atleti were on the high of highs last weekend, beating their undefeated rivals in Real Madrid, and not just beating them, but putting a whooping on them in front of their home fans. And it came down from that emotional high to lay an egg against a I don't want to say very weak, that's rude, but a weaker Celta side. This can't keep happening to Atleti. They got to find a way to have some kind of consistency.
And those are your top matches and headlines for La Liga match day 8. Yeah, it sucks for Elche. We were on the hype train, and all of a sudden we stopped.
Man.
But
we're going to break it down. We'll break it down a little bit more. There's not a lot of good stuff that happened, but when we deep dive these, we got some notes.
Well, let's go. Let's go ahead and get into the breakdown as we go to Friday. Let's talk about the matches we had. And we opened up on Friday with Osasuna getting a 2-1 win against the visiting Getafe.
Yes, Osasuna get back on track with this win at home, and it was much needed as they were trending in the complete wrong direction coming in. Getafe are a tough team to beat as well, but they find themselves with only 1 win in the last 5 La Liga matches. Not good.
And then we moved on to Saturday and opened up with a promotional battle as Oviedo take on Levante and fall to Levante 2-0.
Levante and Oviedo went at it in a battle of the noobs, and Levante came out on top. And guess what? It's our boy Eda Iyong getting another goal as he continues his hot streak and sits 3rd in the Golden Boot race.
And then we move on to Girona and Valencia, and Girona hang on to get the win 2-1.
Just when you think you've got enough info on these teams to make a call and you got it all figured out, they do something to surprise you. Say, for instance, a team that I was very high on bouncing back this season in Valencia, losing to the worst team in La Liga in Girona. Crazy stuff, and let's see if they can turn things around after this.
Speaking of turning things around, we had Athletic Club taking on Mallorca and get a 2-1 win against Mallorca.
Absolutely. And that's what I'm talking about for Athletic Club. It's a 2-1 win at San Mamés. It's their first win in the last 5 matches. They had to get 3 points here against a team that's sitting bottom of the table, and they do just that. It's exactly what they needed to do, and they did it. Let's go.
And then we ended Saturday with the new number ones, Real Madrid, getting a 3-1 win against the visiting Villarreal.
And right when I start to hype myself up about a team other than Barcelona, Atleti, or Real Madrid in La Liga, this is what happens. It always happens. Vinny Jr. was on it this weekend. He was just really, really good. Gets a brace, and he even faked Vic getting hit in the face to make sure that this other guy got a second yellow card. He got him sent off, part of the game, I guess, but it was pretty silly. The guy's arm didn't even get close to his face. But I don't know why they didn't review it. I'm sure there's some Villarreal fans that are mad about it. But either way, you lost 3-1. Maybe you say that guy would have helped, but I don't know.
I did see videos on that. It was pretty bad. But anyway, we will go ahead and move on from that.
How do you, as a man,
exactly?
Yes. All right. Sorry. Let's just
we'll go ahead and skip that. We'll move on to Sunday as we had, and it doesn't start with a great note for us as our hype train Elche finally stopped, and it was Alaves who did it 3-1 against Elche.
Alaves heard all the noise about Elche and stopped the hype train in its tracks. This was Alaves whooping up on Elche too. It wasn't even close. It's crazy that the first goal comes in the 76th minute, but we ended with 4 goals in the game. So within that 15 minutes plus stoppage time spread, whatever you want to call that, there was 4 more goals. It's just crazy. Elche did get a red card in the 79th minute, and that's what I wasn't talking about when we were breaking it down, like why it could have happened. Either way, the first goal comes in the 76th. They get their red card in the 79th, and then the floodgates opened. All the other goals came in, but either way, Elche are unbeaten no more, but I think that they can bounce back.
And our second matchup of Sunday had Barcelona falling 4-1 against Sevilla.
And this result further proves my belief that the more you think you know, you don't. Sevilla were a club in chaos. Barca are world beaters. And yet Sevilla get Barca in their house and make it count. I still need to read up on exactly what happened for Barcelona out there. We know that Lamine Yamal didn't play, but a road game against Sevilla without Lamine Yamal doesn't equal a 4-1 ass whooping. I mean, Barca's defense was getting shredded all day, and seeing Bobby Lou, Robert Lewandowski, miss a penalty, I couldn't believe what was happening, and they lose this match 4-1.
And then we move on to Espanyol welcoming Real Betis, and Real Betis making another run as they get the win 2-1.
Talk about drama. Espanyol and Betis comes down to the wire as Espanyol were down a goal when they were awarded a penalty deep in stoppage time. The penalty is blocked, and Betis head back to Seville with all 3 points and on a 3-game winning streak. What a time to be in Betis right now.
And then we had Real Sociedad taking on Rayo Vallecano, and the visiting Rayo get a 1-0 win.
Both sides really needed to win here, and Rayo hit La Real on the counter in the 83rd minute of this match to get the game-winning goal, and now they shoot up to 14th after flirting with that relegation zone. But, man, Real Sociedad going into the break sit in 19th in the league. Real Sociedad, that is just insane. Just 1 win in their first 8 La Liga matches. It's horrible, we'll say. Horrible.
Horrible. And then we ended match day 8 with Celta Vigo and Atletico Madrid getting 1 goal apiece and 1 point apiece, and Atletico Madrid still remaining the only undefeated team.
Yeah, like we talked about it, the highs and the lows of Atletico Madrid. It's just super disappointing from Atleti to get that massive win over their arch rivals and one of the best teams on the freaking planet, and then the next week getting a first half red card and a draw with a lower table team. They just don't seem to make sense at all. No kind of consistency, but all credit goes to Celta Vigo. They get the goal and they pushed on for the win. They just couldn't take anything more than a point, but hey, a point's a point.
And those are your matches from match day 8 in La Liga. Let's go ahead and take a look at the table, because I already made a mistake, and it's because I'm not used to having more weeks behind on the table. But Atletico Madrid have lost. They're not undefeated at all. They were lost. I forgot if it was first or second week. But if you look in there, they're the only teams without a loss in the last 6 games. And then, as we spoke about earlier, Real Madrid taking over the number 1 spot with 21 points. Behind them now with that loss is Barcelona with 19 points. Villarreal trying to stay in third spot by not winning and getting another loss. They have 16 points with Real Betis again, making that run, like I said, getting a win and rounding out our top 4 with 15 points. And again, a way too early look at the relegation zone. If we go ahead and scroll down, or if everybody else could take a look down, you have Girona taking the 18th spot with 6 points. And then you have Real Sociedad, like Snoo said earlier, in the number 19 spot with 5 points, and then holding up the rest of the table. Boy, oh boy, Mallorca, with 5 measly points, and 3 of them came just 2 weeks ago. Well, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, not looking good for Mallorca.
Not good right now. Not good.
Mm-mm. But yeah, what you won't see in the bottom, any promoted team, right? That's pretty good. It's pretty good so far for the promoted teams, right? Elche is number 7, Levante number 13, Oviedo tickling the promoted team or the relegation squad, but in the number 17 spot, they're still out of it.
Those the promoted teams around Europe have been pretty good this year. Not last year, this year, real good.
Yeah,
this season,
looking good for them. Keep it up, boys.
Okay. Well, I think we're right on time. Let's get it. Let's go over to England.
Let's do it then to the Prem. Ooh, I thought I had to sneeze and it went away. But my eyes might be watering. I can't tell.
You're just very, very happy to be here. That's why.
They're watering because I had to sneeze. Definitely not because of the result this weekend. I promise.
Oh yeah, that's a better one. Dang, I should have used that. Golly,
it's okay.
I think we're all in unison whenever we say that we don't want Arsenal to win the league. So
yes,
if it's not y'all, then City, someone just other than Arsenal, please.
Agree.
All right. Well, let's jump into it. We're already talking about it.
Let's do it. Let's go ahead and talk about the top matches and headlines for Premier League Match Day 7. And it starts with number 1. Semenyo keeps the cherries on top.
Goals from Semenyo and Kluivert sink Fulham as Bournemouth continue their amazing run in the Prem. Semenyo might be the best player in the Prem at this exact moment. And he's got 6 goals and 3 assists through the first 7 matches. He's on an incredible run right now. And I don't know if they're going to stop anytime soon.
And we go to number 2, Danny P's Toffees towering over Crystal Palace.
Just when we were starting to think that Palace might be the best team in the league, Everton puts a stop to that nonsense. It's hyperbole, obviously, but Crystal Palace haven't won in their last 11 away league games against the Toffees, going back all the way to 2014. They say, pretty much Liverpool, they just look at Liverpool and like, hey, man, it is not hard to beat this Crystal Palace team. Why don't you just do that,
Well, it's perfect because we go on to number 3, a Liverpool of emotions.
I thought surely Liverpool will get back on track against a struggling Chelsea side, but newsflash, they did not. A stoppage time winner for Chelsea sees Liverpool's losing streak extended to 3 matches in all competitions. The international break could not have come at a better time if you're Liverpool.
And number 4, with Liverpool's loss, the Gunners are gunning for the top spot.
With Arsenal's 2-0 win over West Ham and Liverpool dropping points in back-to-back matches, it's the Gunners who take the top spot at the break. Arsenal have been in and around the title conversation for years now, and with no real front-runner for who is going to win the league like we had last season, this could be their year. We'll see.
And, those are your top matches and headlines from Premier League Match Day 7. A lot to do with the downfall of the Liverpool. We still got to talk about them one more time.
Oh man, we got so much. There's, we talk about the matches that should grab your attention if you're going to go see some highlights, or whatever. But just digging into all of these matches, I have so many notes. There were so many storylines from all the games. So yeah, I'm ready to get into it. Let's dig in.
Let's do it. Let's go into it, and we go to Friday as Bournemouth get a 3-1 win against the visiting Fulham.
On a sloppy, rainy night, Bournemouth found a way. They go down a goal to Fulham in the 70th minute. And when a goal that late on a night like that comes in, it's usually over. But Bournemouth showed what they have been showing all season, and that they belong right there at the top of the table because they get 3 goals after the 78th minute to put this one away. Semenyo equalizes, Kluivert bangs in the winning goal, and then Semenyo pads the lead with a goal deep into stoppage time. What a team the Cherries are right now. They lose so many players and arguably playing better than they were last season. It's just really incredible what they're doing. doing. And I don't really know what happens in the future. Maybe this team is just this good. We'll find out, but I'm excited to see them.
Yes, sir. Then we moved on to Saturday as your boy snoozes Tottenham get a 2-1 win against Leeds.
Yeah, I've said it once and I'll say it again. This is the type of match that Spurs would have lost under Ange Postecoglou, as they had to dig in and grind out 3 points, and they do it against Leeds at Ellen Road nonetheless. It's just a loss with a loss and back-to-back losses for Leeds. They look to get back on track, but it's not as good as we thought it was going to be for Leeds. Maybe it's just a me thing. Coming into the season, I thought they were poised to have a great season, and it's not horrible, just not great.
And then our second match had Manchester United getting another W on the sheet as they beat the newly promoted Sunderland 2-0.
Amarim's United side have won 3 of their last 5 Premier League matches and are sitting mid-table heading into the break, which isn't good if you're an old school Manchester United fan. But if you've watched them at all in the past couple of seasons, hey, that's pretty good. They'll take it. Some worrying stats, though, Vic, that I found Amarim, though. 50% of the wins that he's had at Manchester United have come against promoted sides. And he's never won back-to-back games at United. And they play who coming up, Vic? You're Liverpool. You're Liverpool. Yeah, so right. There you go. It's a good signs for your team is what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah. Maybe they'll stay informed because it's been win-loss. So, yeah, they're going to get a loss coming up. So, but we will move on as we had Arsenal taking the number 1 spot as they beat West Ham 2-0. Sorry.
No problems at all in this one for Arsenal as they easily take care of business against Nuno's West Ham. 6 points in the past 2 games for Arsenal sees them take the top spot in the table with a 1-point lead.
And then we move on to Chelsea and Liverpool as my Reds falter again, and again another late goal for any Liverpool game as Chelsea beat Liverpool 2-1.
It's another Liverpool match, another late goal that decides the outcome. And similar to last week, though, they were on the losing end of it. Chelsea went ahead with a ridiculous Caicedo goal that left our boy Van Dijk twerking, and they had the lead until the 63rd minute with Gakpo leveling it. But 5 minutes into stoppage time, the 18-year-old Estevao taps in one and gives Chelsea all 3 points. Chelsea were a struggling side coming into this one, and this might help jolt them back to life. I know Cole Palmer's out there injured still, but for Liverpool, we've said that virtually every result they've had in the Prem has been a bad performance with a late winning goal sprinkled on top. It's now 3 straight losses for Slotsman, and there's a lot of questions that need to be answered at the international break, Vic.
And then we move on to Sunday as Sunday opened up with Everton getting a 2-1 win against Crystal Palace and having Danny P claiming Everton are the best team in Liverpool.
Yes, he did. There are no unbeaten teams in the Prem any longer thanks to the Toffees taking down Palace at Hill Dickinson Stadium. Is that just going to be the name forever? Like Hill Dickinson Stadium is what we're calling it? The way that Palace, and no disrespect, by the way, if he's like some famous guy in that area, my bad. The way that Palace had been playing, I thought they would be extending that 19-game unbeaten run, but Everton and Grealish had something to say about that. Well, maybe not fair to say that Grealish had something to say about it as the winner was just bounced off of him, it was cleared into him and went into the goal. But either way, they all count the same. Everton get a 2-1 win over Crystal Palace.
And then we moved on to our second matchup Sunday, and it was Newcastle and Forest, with Newcastle pulling off the win at home 2-0.
Yes, Guimaraes and Voltemata. You won't find 2 better names than that. Scored to take the win for Newcastle. But the bigger story is that Ange is now 6 or 7 matches into his managerial reign at Forest, and he still has 0 wins. I saw a headline today saying that during the international break, he would be meeting with the Forest board, just not good times. I mean, if you're already meeting with the board, that's not good. The shortest managerial run, I looked it up, in the Prem is Les Reed for Charlton Athletic, and he lasted 41 days. Right now, at the end of the international break, I think Ange Postecoglou would be at like 29 days, and it's not looking good for the dude. Hopefully he stays on because, sentimental stuff for a Spurs fan here.
And then we move on to Wolverhampton taking on Brighton, and it's 1 goal apiece, 1 point apiece with the draw, and Wolves doubling their point total for the year, 2 total points.
It sucks for Wolves. 2 back-to-back heartbreaking draws. They didn't lose, but they got draws against Spurs and Brighton. It looked like they were set up to get all 3 points in both of those matches, but they split instead. Brighton scored in the 86th minute to level it, and the result keeps Wolves at the bottom of the table.
And then we move on to Aston Villa and Burnley, as Aston Villa get a 2-1 win, also waking up.
Yeah, Daniel Malen, take a bow, sir. We haven't heard a lot from him since his move from Dortmund last season, but he won the match for Villa this weekend. Burnley get one back late in the game, but this one was all Villa as they get back-to-back wins after starting so poorly.
And then we ended match day 7. Almost forgot for a second. There's too many different ones, but we ended match day 7. Yeah, I know. Sucks. We ended match day 7 with Manchester City getting a 1-0 win on the road against Brentford, and it enters Man City back into the European competition.
When Holland straight pushes his way through the Brentford defense and gets a goal after the 9th minute, I thought that this could get ugly really fast, but that's just not how the match played out. Brentford's keeper Kelleher, was that the second for y'all? It was, right? Okay. Yeah. I thought he sounded familiar. But anyway, Brentford's keeper, Kelleher, made the save after save, and he was the only reason that he kept him in this game. But when it came down to it, Thiago, driving with the ball, has a one-on-one with Donnarumma. The shot's blocked. City win again, and that's what quality gets you. But, man, that Kelleher, he was out there doing it all day. That boy got some quality in him.
Yes, sir. We called him the best backup keeper in the world, and he definitely proved it time and time again when Becker went down. So, nice to see him doing good with Brentford and seeing getting some playing time because he was always one of the fan favorites in Liverpool. But those are your matches from match day 7 around the Premier League. Let's go ahead and take a look reluctantly at the table as Liverpool fall out of the top, which means we have another red up top, and it is Arsenal, the Gunners. They have 16 points now in the number 1 spot, followed by Liverpool, who are on 2 straight losses with 15 points. You'll see your boy Snoozes Tottenham Hotspur in the number 3 spot with 14 points, and tied with 14 points is Bournemouth, rounding out our top 4. Then tickling our top 4, like we alluded to earlier, is Man City with 13 points in that Europa League spot, and they're hoping to keep the climbing going, and it's been pretty good for them pretty recently. But not going good at all for these bottom 3 teams as we take the way too early look at the relegation zone, and Burnley have the number 18 spot. It's I think the only promoted team back, newly promoted team down into the relegation. And I think there might be one more, but they have the 18th spot with 4 measly points. West Ham United also joining the relegation zone with 4 points in the 19th spot. And then the Wolverhampton Wanderers have 2 points this year, both coming in the last 2 weeks with 2 draws. Not looking good for them. And yeah, those are your 3 at the bottom. Anything else on the table, students? Look at Everton's above.
Just taking a look at Leeds and not Sunderland. Is it Sunderland?
Yeah,
yes, Sunderland. It is Sunderland. Yeah. I mean, I can't fathom that we're going to have teams that stay up because it's only been 2 seasons, but it just feels like that it's never going to happen. But look at them; they're balling out right now. And West Ham doesn't look like they're going to be getting better anytime soon. Wolves look like they're cooked. Burnley, I'm okay with Burnley not being I don't know why. Just having like the same color scheme in the league with who is it? It's Villa, it's Burnley. Who else? It's West Ham. Like we don't need claret and maroon, 5 different types. I mean, come on. Unfortunately, that means that Burnley, I'm just, they were the team that's like, you're not Villa and you're not West Ham. You have the same colors. So anyway, that's why I was like Norwich being in there. Ipswich last year, like just different colors. Just
I agree.
Sounds weird. It sounds like a child. We're like, oh, the kids, but I'm a kid guy,
kind of guy. Yeah,
I don't wear them, but I love looking at them. All right.
Well, yeah, it's a little too early. It's not completely insignificant. That's 7 weeks in, 7 match days in. That's just under 20% of the season. So
I was going to say we're breaking down. We're going to have the quarter breakdowns this year. So what is that? 9.5 games?
Yeah. Yes.
I know it is because I did it on the calculator. And I'm just acting like I was smart. Like 9.5 games.
He's throwing it up. He's throwing me a softball.
Yeah. I was also like trying to be impressive, but like I don't know math. Numbers Johnson over here. So anyway, all right. Hey, you know what? DJ, play our music. We've said it all. I think it's time that we go home.
Let's do it. Hey, thank you everyone for spending some time with us talking about some European football. Be sure to like and subscribe on all of our social medias. Everything is at No Business Soccer Podcast, except for TikTok, except for Twitter or X, if that's what you call it. That is at No Biz Sock Pod, because those things were way too damn long. We will talk to you guys again on Friday as we go into our, or actually, are we? I don't even know if we are. We don't have a look ahead. There's an international
We'll
break.
have shorts out.
We'll have some shorts for you guys and at least talk to you. And that means we will talk to you all very soon. Peace.
Peace.